Hi, 8th grade. This is Mrs. C, your virtual content specialist. Today we're going to be using a strategy called word work. This strategy is going to help us determine the meaning of words and the connections between words that we learn within a unit in Passport to Social Studies. When you use this strategy, you will be able to show what you know about what the words mean and any connections between the words of any unit in Passport to Social Studies. So what is word work? Word work is a strategy that helps us understand what words mean and how we connect them to other words. It helps us understand what we're reading. It helps us make connections to what we are working with in the moment and maybe past units and future units as well. When we use the word work strategy, we want to do three things. The first one is look at the words or key terms that you're having a difficulty with or that are a challenge to you. That sounds easy enough. But you do need to identify 2 or more words, since this strategy will not work with just one word. So remember, you need 2 or more words to use the word work strategy. The next thing you want to do is find the definition of each. And this you can do in many ways. You can look it up online. You can use a dictionary to find the definition of each word. You can use context clues to help you determine the word if you want to figure it out on your own. And you can even use a partner to help you understand what the word means. Then, you want to compare and contrast both words, how they're used in a sentence, their meaning, what words are related to them, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So when you receive a handout for word work, an organizer, a worksheet, it might look something like this. Regardless of what it looks like, what you're basically doing is identifying what the words mean, any words that are related to that word, such as synonyms or words that might be connected to it outside of those words, and using both words in a sentence. So here, we're going to see how this strategy works live by using Unit 4, the U.S. Enters World War I, and 2 key terms during that unit, neutrality and participation. The first word, the definition of neutrality, means the state of not supporting or helping any side during a conflict. So when you're confronted with an issue or there's a problem between 2 different people or 2 different sides, you remain neutral. You don't help nor take the side of either of those parties. The other word is participation. Participation means the action of taking part in something. So what connections can we make between both of these words? Right off the bat, I want to identify the kind of word it is. These words are both nouns. A noun is a word used to describe a person, place, or a thing. And these are both things or ideas. So they're both nouns. Both are a kind of action or something that can be seen. For example, if somebody becomes neutral in a conflict, you'll be able to see that. That's an action that they're taking. They're deciding not to choose a side. And if somebody participates in something, that's something that you can see. You can see participation. And it is an action. So that's another connection I'm going to indicate here. And then finally, you can be neutral until you know all information, then decide what side to participate on. So you can be neutral first and then decide to participate. Or maybe you've participated and you've decided, I want to be neutral. I don't want to take any sides anymore. So now let's continue with our word work strategy in identifying related words to both of these terms and using them in a sentence. For neutrality, A related word is neutral or unbiased. Maybe plain, peaceful. And then I want to use neutrality in a sentence. Neutral or neutrality. They are both my friends, so I am going to stay neutral in this argument and let them figure it out. So I have two friends, they're arguing, but they're both my friends. I don't want to get involved, so I'm going to remain neutral. And that's how I'm going to use that word here. Let's move on to our next word, participation. When I think of participation, I think about active, I think about listening, I think about team, I think about something that can be observed or seen, I think about exciting and fun. When you're participating in something, it can be fun. Used in a sentence, my participation in this class is always good. And that's how I'm going to use that word participation in a sentence. Now that we've identified the meaning of each word, what words are related to them, and use them in a sentence, we want to now find related words to both. Now this is going to be a little tricky because these words are complete opposite from each other. But that's something that connects them. They're complete opposites. So I can write opposites. Remember, any connection is a valid connection. I can write opposites. I can write group, because whether you're neutral between a group or you're participating in a group, it still relates to groups. Something that can be seen or observed. I'm going to write observed just to shorten it. And then I'm going to use both words in a sentence. You can't be neutral if you participate in a team. You can't be neutral if you participate in a team activity. So I'm using a version of the word neutrality, and I'm using a version of the word participate, which is totally fine. I just want to be able to exercise the use of these two words in a sentence so that I can now make my thinking visible when I'm explaining how to use these words. So, when you use word work, you will identify the key terms or vocabulary that you're having difficulty with. You'll find or create a definition for each word and use each word in a sentence. And then you'll compare and contrast. When you do this, remember to ask yourself, how are these words connected? And remember, any connection you make is a valid connection.